This store. New retailer now, but it was a Shopko when it was built. This store was the granddaddy of crazy for me. So I've been doing these videos on location, but when I was telling some of my favorite stories about this one, I wasn't going on location yet. Felt bad about it because this one definitely deserves to be on location. So today I'm going to share some stories, and this is a big shout out to all the people that worked here, that helped me, some of the wildest times of our lives. The police department here, that is completely awesome and did some of the coolest things ever to help me. But today we're going to share some stories from this place. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the Superman incident. A story I shared about two of the shadiest dudes ever. One started fighting, one started running across the parking lot. For any of these, just check out the links in the description below. The videos of me actually telling the full story are there. Check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, one's fighting inside the foyer, one's running across the parking lot. Bunch of people inside fighting the guy. I'm chasing the guy across the parking lot. And this is where the wall of police cruisers came across and met this guy. It's like a scene out of Smokey and the Bandit. This was all lined with police cruisers. He was so concentrated on running from me that he just Supermaned the hood of one of them, flew into the air, bounced off the top of the car, hit the ground. Good times. So check out the Superman incident down below. All right, so then there was the time I was coming back from lunch and noticed that this whole piece of landscaping here was on fire. I couldn't believe it, I was shocked. Our fearless leader immediately responded, and here, I'll just let her tell the story.
It was over the summer of, I think, 2012. There was a fire out in the parking lot, I'm sure you remember, and you and I both ran out there, and neither one of us thought to get a fire extinguisher, so we ran out and grabbed the lawn and garden hose. And I don't even remember how it went, but we ran across the parking lot and stood there and put it out for like 10 minutes straight. And it just kept coming back, and finally we put it all out and looked at each other and discussed the fact we probably could have used a fire extinguisher, and then the fire department pulled up. So that's just one amongst a ton of fun times here at 180.
Thanks for the story, Erica, and thanks for being our fearless leader through a lot of this madness. Okay, so again, this full story is in the link in the description below. But the guy that tried to kill me with a knife, his pants fell down, fighting, things flipping and flopping, all sorts of crazy things. Guy just wouldn't let up, stole a pair of shoes, left his pregnant wife out in the parking lot. That's where all this happened. Loss Prevention office was right inside those doors. Popped out, and here's where the paintless wonder fought me almost to the death. All right, so we had an outdoor camera on the corner of the building up there. Used to park over here. When I first started at this store, I had a 2009 Dodge Challenger. They had just come out, pretty new. And I would have homeless people who suddenly were well off enough to have cell phones, but they'd sit here and take pictures of my car just because they thought it was cool and fresh and new. In fact, random customers would do it as well. So I'd sit there and watch on camera them take pictures of my car. Just a car, everybody. Old news now. So again, the outdoor camera was up there on that corner. There was another time, we're on a Sunday afternoon. Turns out it was right before they went to the movies. Two teenagers just having all sorts of the relations in their car right here. Me and a lucky teammate got to watch it while we were waiting for the police. And then we had some great video of the police approaching the car. Police officer, you know who you were. Those were good times. Okay, so moving on to these weeds right here. Three dudes, 20-year-old, I think 20 and 21, stole a bunch of candy of all things. Stealing candy, and when I went out to stop them, they ran. Stole enough candy that I had to make it worth my while, so I went after them. But we started fighting in these stupid weeds. At the time, and it still is a little bit, it was always full of water. So it was like fighting in a swamp. So just picture me and three 20-year-olds fighting in a bunch of weeds and water over a bunch of candy that was scattered all over the place. So much fun. Let's talk about all the shoplifters that would load up merchandise and try to run out of our emergency exits. Well, when that happened, the Council Bluffs Police Department always had our back. And the beautiful thing about it is they would show up, and every emergency exit they had, not only would they still let me have the bust, but they would put their cars with their Rams up against these doors, and they would do it on every single one of them. So if they tried to bust out, they had quite the surprise waiting. I love you, Council Bluffs Police Department. Let's talk about the people that stole a Cadillac, then decided they wanted to break into the store. So they took that Cadillac and they drove right through this garage door, trying to get in. They tried it at 6:30 in the morning, so there were too many people here and they got freaked out and abandoned ship. But yeah, drove right through this door. Poor Cadillac. And then I called this little hole in the fence the gateway to hell. Little community through this hole. I think I detained half of the residents, including a little 9-year-old that had a little crime operation, an organized retail theft operation of other kids that would just come in this place and steal all the time or try to. But he was the little kingpin, and when I detained him, it was so hard not to laugh because he was just quite the little mob boss. But he lived right over here. I'll tell you more stories about this in a second. This is the community on the other side of the gate from hell. I don't know what it was about this neighborhood, and don't think I'm just knocking the typical comments about trailer parks, because that's not it at all. It doesn't matter if this was $1 million homes or mansions or whatever it was. Something about this neighborhood, just the wrong neighborhood to be on the other side of our fence. So many people in this neighborhood detained, including my 9-year-old little crime boss. Crazy times. Chases through here, meeting up with the police department, all sorts of crazy things going on in here. Good times. I'm not going to go in there and film because I don't want to get kicked out of the very store I used to kick people out of. But the loss prevention office was right inside these doors. So that's where I'd stop people every day. That's where I went to stop a woman. And as soon as I approached her and identified myself, she just started screaming that she was urinating. I'm peeing, I'm peeing. And sure enough, her pants filled with urine. The amount of towels we had to put on the chairs in our office just did not suffice. And then inside that office is where the horse urine, frogs, and head lice story takes place. I can't even begin to summarize that on this video, so just check out that story in the links in the description below. So many good times right inside those doors. Those stories also include the Let Me Hide My Drugs story, which you can also check out in the description down below. That story was quite a doozy. This woman was very entertaining. Then there was the time that I'm sitting inside that office having dinner with my wife, who happened to be the regional HR at the time of the same company. A gentleman we'd been after for a long time came in and stole 2 Dyson vacuums, just grabbed them and started to walk out. Now I was distracted because I was having dinner with the wife, but saw him because he set off the door alarms. So I immediately started running after him, But I was a little scared because the wife happened to be the regional HR, and we were only supposed to do so much at that time. But so what did I do? I chased him, and I chased him, and I chased him, and you can't see it, but way over there is a dentist office. And he just had a little head start on me, so he made it all the way to that dentist office. I tried to rip the Dysons and him out of the vehicle with no luck. Sorry, wife, I didn't mean to do that in your presence. Okay, so if you check out the link of the story in the description down below, check out the link for the story of the guy with the Adidas shirt, the iPhone flashlight, and the weeds. This is the parking lot I was walking across to go get him. Again, he had just got out of prison, so he did not want to come back with me. The rules had just changed at Shopko to where we couldn't kind of fight anybody or get too carried away with anybody. So I really wasn't ready to just tackle him like I normally would be. So we just kept walking all the way across this parking lot. And then I'm going to show you what happens across the street. And he was just trying to make it to the river. I don't know what he was going to do in the river, but he was going to try to make it to the river. And we just walked through weeds over our heads as in his quest to get to the river. So yeah, the store is over there. We got across the street. I couldn't fight him, so he just kept saying, I just kept trying to threaten him and say I would fight him, but he just kept saying, dude, I'm not going back with you. I don't care what you do to me. You're going to have to kill me. I'm not going back to prison. He just kept saying that over and over again. You're going to have to kill me. I'm not going back to prison. So we made it over here to these weeds. And at that time, they're a little low now, but at that time, they were over our head. So again, check the link in the description below for that story. But all I had was an iPhone flashlight, trying to get the attention of all the employees across the street, but they weren't seeing me too well. The river's way over there. He almost made it. Police finally showed up. They were so pissed that they had to walk through these weeds. I apologize to those officers. You were troopers coming to help me. But it was quite the trek. All for an Adidas shirt. Okay, so that's some of my favorite stories from good old Shopko 180. Again, this video is all about the people. A big thank you to the people that helped me, that worked here, all the Shopko people, but so many personalities came in and went with Shopko. And it's just, sad that they can't be forgotten. So I want to give you an example of one of my favorite things that I've ever seen from a Shopko person and their personality. This just kind of sums up what I was dealing with and all the friends I had. But this is a wrestling promo given to me, performed to me when I left Shopko as part of my going away present. Again, a lot of these clips from this video are from a going away video they made for me. But anyway, I want to share one of the personalities and just how much I miss these people. Enjoy.
Okay, you listen up and you listen good. I don't like you. I've never liked you. I'm glad you're leaving. I hope your business goes belly up, just like you would against me in the ring after I beat you with the elbows of doom. But all gimmicks aside, I will miss you. You've made work a lot of fun. Some of the most dangerous things I've done have been with you, and I like that. That's awesome. And I hope nothing but the best for you, and just good luck.
Okay, so that concludes my homage to Shopko Store 180. Again, this is all about the people. So many people here helped me, risked their lives for me. Just crazy what happens in the loss prevention world, and what people that really care about you, that care about their store, what they'll do to help you. I mean, none of these people ever had to help me, but they did. So many times, just crazy, crazy situations, as you've heard. But they had my back. They always had my back. Not only them, but the police department. Yeah, it's their job, but man, Council Bluffs in particular, they went above and beyond for me every time. So shout out to Shopko. Shout out to all the people that ever worked at a Shopko. Shout out to Shopko 180 and all of us that enjoyed our time there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace and love.